if you feel that your qualification is not giving you what you were hoping for, what are the things then that you can do from now going forward? So the question was then, how do I make my education, my degree, my master's, my MBA, my whatever qualification that I have, how do I make it work for me? And that's the question that we want to be answering today. And the big thing really is to say to those who are here, what do you expect then to get out of this? Yeah, you are free to unmute and speak, or you can just put a message on the chat, and Michelle will be watching those messages there. What is it that you expect to get out of this conversation? So when you saw the advert, what came to mind for you that made you feel, let me go and attend this? Okay, I'll give it a pause a bit, and you can type. I know graduates type fast, so expect to start seeing some messages on the chat. And if you want to unmute and just share shortly what you expect to get out of this, that will be great.
Can I go?
Yes, you can. Michelle, you'll watch for me if there are hands, because I am not seeing from where I am. Yes, you can go.
Yes, I will.
I think for me, when I saw what the presentation was going to be all about, it just, felt like it was speaking to me, because I have practiced two of my qualifications, but my third qualification I haven't practiced. And I was hoping to gain some insight about how to go about, because maybe what I'm trying to do is not the right way to go about it, to try and get into that sphere. So yes, I was hoping to get some more insight from this presentation.
Okay, thank you. So you say one qualification is working, but another one is not working for you.
Two, the one, so I'm a qualified teacher and a registered psychometrist, and then I have the coaching qualification. So I taught for 10 years, I've done that. I am currently practicing as a psychometrist, but I would like to get into the sphere of coaching, and yeah, that hasn't taken off for me.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. I see
There's something in the
Refilus.
chat.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
Refilus here says, I thought I was alone, feeling like I'm not reaping the benefits of my master's degree. So I would like to get some ideas on how I can use it. You're not alone. You can see the house, it's a full house. That tells that there's a couple of people who feeling the same. Okay.
Another message from Wasidi.
Okay, guidelines on how to use my qualification and how to approach certain setbacks. Okay. I thought graduates type very fast. It seems like I'm wrong. It seems very quiet.
Can I go in?
Yes.
After I've seen the advert, my expectation it was for me to get motivated, because now I've just completed my MBA, and now I keep looking for something, but now I get rejected till so far. So now I was like, maybe am I alone on this road being rejected? Because now I expected a lot from this qualification. I don't want to lie, because I've actually invested a lot. I had to actually make some sacrifice to finish paying my fees. But now the return of my investment seems like it's not going according to my expectation. So it's not an easy road where I am now.
Okay. You?
Thank you.
Okay, so I think let me get on to the slides because I just want to share something a bit in terms of uh, what I've seen in my own journey that helped me to leverage or to get the best out of each and every qualification that I have. But continue on the charts to put in your expectation and expectations, and then we're going to come back to it at the end as well, then to see if your expectations are being met and if we are able to meet all of them here. So just a bit about my background. Probably a couple of you have met me somewhere in life, but I've got a couple of diverse qualifications. So I started with a BSc, so I was in core science, and I moved from a BSc and I did an MSc, which was more mathematical statistics, focusing mainly on risk analysis. And then after that, then I went and started working and worked a couple of years, and I felt I wasn't getting what I was hoping I will get when working. So what I did then after that, then I moved from then working because I was working as a statistician. So I moved from working as a statistician and then went on now to work to start my own business and looking for this thing that I was looking for that I felt I was not getting as a statistician, because when you get a qualification, there's expectations that when you get in the workplace, you're going to get something, and I wasn't getting it. So I moved, and you'll understand why I'm telling you the story. So I moved, I went to start my own business. I ran that business the first 2-3 years as a side hustle, and then the other years full time. And at some point, it didn't work out, and I closed it. So I was getting what I was looking for, but the journey was not as easy as I expected it would be. And then I left, and then I went back to employment as an employee. That's when my journey of being a lecturer started. Went and worked at CPUT as a junior lecturer there for about a year. And when I got there, then I enjoyed what I was doing there, and I felt it seems like I have gotten what I've been looking for. But at that time, I didn't have the qualification that was going to move me in that process. So I decided then to register and start doing my PhD. And when I registered my PhD, I knew exactly why I wanted to register my PhD. One, to go into academia. Secondly, to understand the entrepreneurship space a little bit more. Did my PhD, and while I was doing my PhD, I moved to Joburg, and then I started working for an investment company, back to using my MSc, and I work as a risk analysis. And at some point, I work in management consulting, and I hated management consulting and what I was getting paid, because now I moved back to be a starter after business having not worked. And I didn't like it. And when I didn't like it, I knew that that's not where I'm going to stay and complain for the rest of my life. And then I focused on getting my PhD done. Before I could even finish my PhD, I left the investment and the consulting management space because it wasn't working for me. The hours, the expectations, and all that was just not what I hoped my life. I'll spend the rest of my life, feeling like that and experiencing that. And then in that time, then I started my second business because I knew I enjoyed doing business, running my own business. I might have had some setbacks then. I went back then to start the second business, which is the business I'm running now, the DrJ Business Support. Finished up my PhD, and then in that process, then I got a way of getting out of the investment space and also the management consulting space. Then I went into academia, The first few months, I was just finishing my PhD. I had no job or nothing, but I would now and then be a research assistant to my supervisor. And then I started enjoying, I started lecturing, and I enjoyed that. I'm very passionate about this thing. I wake up in the morning excited to go and do it, and I knew this is what I want to do. And then I continued to finish my PhD, and then after that, I went full-time into academia. When I was now in academia, obviously, I went there with the ticket of entrepreneurship because my PhD was in entrepreneurship, but I still had my MSc, so I could also do the stats, so which I also do in my current DrJ Business Support. I do the stats analysis there. I use it also at VETS as a lecturer. And then after that, I got exposed to coaching. And then I realized here's another thing I'm passionate about that I like, but I don't have a qualification for. And then I decided during COVID to use that time to get a certificate in coaching. And when I was done with that, then now I will get a little bit more now involved in coaching because when I did a certificate, I was more on the admin side of coaching because I was running the Masters in Business and Executive Coaching at VES. So it was more admin than the coaching itself. And then I enjoyed that. I enjoy that. And then I decided I'm going to do another master's because now I've found another passion, something that I am enjoying. And then that's where I am now. I'm still trying to finish my master's, and everybody screams when I say that and say after a PhD, why a master's? But it's because when I look at my vision board, where I want to get to, what I see in my future requires that I have that. And why I'm telling you that story and that journey is to show you first, when you look at this diagram, I've got qualifications. I need to know why I have them, where I wanted to use them, how was it going to change my life? And that is the pre, but we don't always pre-doing the qualifications know why we are doing them, and it's fine, but that means then later on you need to start reworking and changing some of the things, and some of the things might mean that you are going to go back and be a starter somewhere with your nice qualifications, and the question becomes, are you prepared to do that? So the qualification is the why. I've stopped a couple of people who came to me and say, I want to do my MBA or I want to do my PhD, and the thing that I always ask them is say why. And I listen to the why, and when I listen to the why, I hear this person just want to do it just because everybody else is doing it, and after that they're going to get frustrated because they don't know why they want to do it. So as a result of that, now you will find when somebody come and ask me at the end of the day, so you should know if you come and ask me at the end of the day, you might end up dropping it because you start asking yourself the questions and then you can't answer them. So you need to know why that qualification, where is going to take you, where does it fit in? I believe in vision boards. Where does it fit in your bigger goal, where you want to see yourself? If you are thinking standing at 70 and looking back, where would your qualification have played a role? So there's you, the graduate. There's the problems that you're going to come across with the qualification you have. It doesn't take away problems. The stumbling blocks you're going to come across. The perspective in those stumbling blocks becomes important. There is the environment where you are in. So here we're talking about the things that affects or the things that will influence how much ROI you will get from your qualification. Is you. First, the graduate, is the environment, and between the environment and you, there's all these challenges that you're going to deal with. And what becomes important, and you look at this from an entrepreneurial mindset, what becomes important is when you come across these problems or these stumbling blocks or these challenges in terms of your qualification moving you forward, what do you see? Do you see just things to sit and complain with your friends about? Or do you see a challenge that brings opportunities that you can work with to try to open up the path for yourself to get you to your career goals? And these goals, whether you are in business or you are in corporate, you're going to have challenges, and the mindset is, what do you do with them when they come? So I want to talk first a bit about the environment, the country you are in. Is it a conducive country for the kind of qualification that you have? The company you work with or you work in, or the company you've started, or the business you have started, is it an ideal one where you can use your qualification? The relationships that you have, the people you spend time with, are these people that will add value in your life, that when you say, I've got this challenge and this challenge, I'm looking for this and this, they can help you and support you and connect you to the right people that will take you there. So those are things you consider. And the environment is one of the things that's going to bring the challenges. And you have to be honest with yourself to ask yourself, am I in the right organization? Have I started the right business? Am I in the right networks? And if not, what do you do about that? Do you stay there and just complain? And then we've got the you. The you, the self, is what is going to help you in the perspective in terms of the environment and the stumbling blocks that you have and how you make the qualification work. Your mindset becomes important. Your beliefs about yourself and about your qualifications becomes important. Your flexibility. If you listened to my story, you will see that my journey is very colorful, because I don't believe I was born a statistician. I don't believe I was born a science person. I can be anything I want. The question becomes, am I prepared to take the step that will help me to get to what I want, if what I have is not what I want, or it is not what I thought is going to be? What I find sometimes when I listen to people, when I talk to them, when they complain about their qualifications and stuff, is that people are not flexible. People don't want to move. People behave like, even trees, you can uproot trees. People, I don't know how they behave. They want to be in the same place where they know that this place is not giving me what I want, or hold the same degree that they know is not giving them what they want, but they will not change and go and do something else or move and go elsewhere. And they expect a magic in the same environment, not conducive, with the same qualification that is not maybe as in demand anymore, and want a miracle to happen, that they will wake up tomorrow and say, yes, I've got a return on investment on my qualification. And those are the things that you need to reflect on. When I posted on social media, one of the guys I respect very much commented there and say, today is not about whether he has done MBA, so he was talking to MBA, and he says, today is not about whether you've got the MBA, because everybody has an MBA, and I'll use the MBA as an example to illustrate the point. And he says, everybody has an MBA. So what does that mean? If everybody has an MBA, you cannot just hold the MBA and expect it to open the door. Then now you need to start saying, with everybody having an MBA, what differentiates me? What is it that I am bringing more than just the MBA? That if there is 20 of us standing here asking for an opportunity, somebody will notice me better than the other person. And a lot of people commented also on the social media that it is not about the qualification. It is about what you do with the qualification. It is about what you believe about the qualification. It is about what you intentionally and actively look for with the qualification. So if you got your qualification, you put it in the drawer, and then you say it's not working for you, it's because you are not making it work for you. And I know it sounds theoretical, but if you can honestly go back and sit and reflect and ask yourself, since I got this qualification, what did I actively went and did to try to make sure it works for me? You will find out that sometimes not much. And then you expected people that will knock at your door and say, hello, we've noticed that now you've got an MBA. We love you so much. Here's a special seat for you. It is not going to happen. You have to find that special seat for yourself, and sometimes you have to find it in being creative about the things that are in front of you. So I want you to ask yourself, is the environment conducive for me? Am I conducive for the qualification that I'm holding? I don't know whether that is right English, because you can be a stumbling block to your own progress. If your mindset is not right, your beliefs about yourself is not right, belief about your qualifications is not right, if you are not flexible, if all you bring is the paper, that can be a stumbling block for you. And I want you to look at this diagram and ask yourself, where do I need to go back and start doing some work? Because this is what makes me not get to my goals. And these are some reflection questions. Those who know me, they know how big I am on deep reflection. What was your why when you started the qualification or you registered for it? What changed? Have I been intentional in making it work? What have you done? What is it that you can point to and say, on that day, this is what I went to do. On that day, this is who I spoke to. And on that day, this is what I did. And what happened after that? Do you follow up? Did you push it enough, or you just once off try that, and then when you didn't get what you want and it ended there? What are your limiting beliefs about self and your qualifications? There are people who can hold qualifications, but they still carry themselves like they have none. Somebody with a matric will come and compete with them far better than them, because their beliefs about themselves, the self-doubt, the confidence is so low that the qualification didn't do anything for them. And those things are things you need to address before you can be confident to actively go and drive the things that you need to drive so that they can give you what you need to get from your qualification. And sometimes we can easily make excuse here, there are no jobs in South Africa, whatever. But I can tell you, whatever you are not able to get, there's somebody else who is getting it. The question becomes, why is it not working for me when it is working for someone else? There is somebody else who's got a worse environment and a worse case than yours, but they are making it work for them, or it's working for them. And you have to ask yourself why. And if you can answer that why, then it will help you in starting now to be more adaptable, more flexible, and always be on change. If you look at my qualifications, I moved from science, I went to social sciences and management. I moved from entrepreneurship, I went to coaching. I've been moving. I reinvent myself every day, because in my mind, I know that sitting with this one thing that I got 20 years ago might not get me to where I want to get to. And I start looking what other opportunities are out there that links back to my passion, my skills, and all that in my qualification. Do I need another qualification? Do I need experience? Do I need exposure? What is it that I need, so that I keep reinventing myself to get myself where I want to get to? I've worked in engineering. I started my work first job at Excom. I moved from an engineering intensive environment. I went to sell paper stationery with my MSc. I moved from that, and then I went to work in an academic environment. I moved from an academic environment. I went to work in an investment company. I went to work in management consulting. I moved from that. I went back to academia. Why I'm telling you that? It is the flexibility. When something is not working for you, are you prepared to move? Are you always on constant change, or you are in your comfort zone and you are expecting that because I have this qualification, miracles are going to happen for me? Unfortunately, they are not. So that is my challenge to you. Anyone who's been coached by me know this model that I always put up and say, before you see the results at the top, the results, the outcomes, the behavior that everybody else sees, that sits on top of the water, on top of the waters, you need to go and sit with self and say, what beliefs do I hold about myself? What beliefs do I hold about my degree? What beliefs do I hold about what the world is supposed to give me? Are any of those beliefs that are supposed to be questioned? Is the trueness in these beliefs that I hold? are they a stumbling block towards where I want to get to? And if you can honestly sit and do that reflection, then you will be able to get to the top part, which is what we're talking about, your qualification not giving you the results that we are looking for. But it starts from the roots. If you don't have belief about yourself, you've got self-limiting belief, you need to change them, you need to question them, because the qualification won't automatically work for you if you hold beliefs that are not enabling you. Keep this in mind, and you can go and reflect on it, but you will see your beliefs helps you develop certain values that you hold dear, helps you think in a certain way and interpret things in a certain way about your degree or your qualification, helps you have certain feelings and certain emotions, disappointed, regretting, and helps you behave in a certain way and gives you the outcome that you see today. And I'm going very fast on that because I want us to talk. So what the challenge that I want to give to you, and I want to leave you with this quote before I put down the slides and we can chat. Do not go where the path may lead you. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Sometimes we just follow because there's a path, even when we know or we see that that path is not taking us to where we thought our qualifications were going to take us or they're going to give us, but we stay there because it's a clearer path. Sorry, than sorry, I didn't want to cough in your ear. So we stay there because it's a clearer path, it's where everybody has walked, it's familiar, it's comfortable, it doesn't have too much challenges. But the question is, if that path is not giving you what you were looking for or what you thought you're gonna get, why are you still there? Why are you not moving? Why are you not starting to search things that can work for you if that path that you are in, that is so clear, is not getting you where you want to get to? So let's have the conversation. I am going to put down the slides. If you want to take our details, you can take them there because I'm not going to put the slides up again. And we can get to talk and see if we are able then to meet your expectations. Okay, so we can
Dr.
go.
J,
Yes.
there's a couple of questions in the chat group.
Okay. You want to read them through for me? Because I'm not sure which one we read.
Yes, I can.
Which
All
ones
right.
we have.
So the first one, after what you already read, was they need, and this is from Mfundo, guidance on strengthening my professional presence and positioning myself as a leader in my industry. And then Botamelo, outside of corporate, how else can I use my finance qualification?
Okay. I think maybe
Samuel
let's
Makon.
go one at a time because I am not going to
Okay.
remember. Let's go one at a time
Okay.
and then we can
All
go
right.
through them. So the guidelines on how to use my qualification and how to approach certain setbacks. I think from what I've highlighted from the slides there, you can pick up maybe some of the things there in terms of then how to approach setbacks. The mindset becomes important in dealing with that. Obviously, is an issue of getting into more details of what those setbacks are and those kind of things, which sometimes is not something that we can answer high level like that. But if you look at that iceberg model that I shared, it's always about going to look where the setbacks comes from, what led you to that, and what are the things that you need to work on then to help you unleash that. Professional presence. I've heard a lot of people in coaching talk about the professional presence. And sometimes when I ask, I don't really get a clear answer. What is professional presence? And who's that? Fundo, do you want to talk to the professional presence there? What do you mean? Fundo, are you
Mfundo,
there?
are you there?
Okay, we'll move on whenever he comes back or she comes back. Outside corporate, how else can I use my finance qualification? So that one with Tumelo is, how do you want to use it? Do you want to go do a side hustling thing? Do you want to go contribute to a community as an NPO? It's really about putting it down for yourself to say, how do I want to use it? Because if you have a finance qualification, assumption is that you can probably do books for other people. You can probably do advisory for other people that relates to that. We know finance is not one of the strongest point for a lot of people, especially I know for entrepreneurs. So it's really about saying, answering the question for yourself and say, what do I want to do with it? And where will I do that? And then that automatically takes you more to a more entrepreneurial mindset in terms of looking, where's the problem? Where can you go and solve it? Where's the opportunity, if I can use that word, and then you go and solve it there. Samuel, I need to be motivated because having to study and you're not reaping the benefits is discouraging. Goes back to the iceberg model. Before you even get to the feelings part, have you done the reflection in terms of what are the issues that makes you not reap the benefit? Are you at the right environment? Are you the stumbling block to yourself? And those are the questions that you'll need to answer for yourself to be able to start dealing with the root cause of what makes you not reap the benefits. How to navigate into the areas within my qualification, especially when the qualification is out of the primary job or discipline. So out of the primary job or discipline, what does that mean? Is it a not a clear career path, or what do you mean by that? Lesego. Okay, probably answering somewhere at the bottom because I'm not hearing you. I'm not, and I know I'm going quick, guys. Some things needs more detail than what I will be answering, and feel free to pop in the question also later. And also at the end,
Lesego is available.
We'll talk about then how to continue with this. Yes, Lesego? Okay, it's not there. Let me just leave the part of letting people talk because they can come in later just to manage the time. I'm not motivated because I'm not motivated to a point where I am even embarrassed to say I have an MBA, as I hoped it will open massive doors. Huge expectation is almost a year. For me, it's mostly being in a different position of leadership more than entrepreneurship. So I think this then talks back to, if you are already embarrassed to say you've got the MBA, then the opportunities that comes with having an MBA, even if they were to look for you, they're not going to find you. The environment that you are in, is it ideal for this kind of position that we are looking for? And if not, are you willing to shift and go elsewhere? And when I say these things, I'm not meaning that it's gonna be easy. You wake up tomorrow, you are packing your bags, you are shifting. It takes some time, it takes some patience, it takes a couple of sometimes even years to get to, but you have to be actively doing something. And that's where the hope also comes in, to keep you motivated to be doing something towards then getting to the position that you are looking for. For me, it's mostly being in a different position of leadership. So I guess this means moving into a higher level, and you have to understand the environment you are in. Is it a horizontal kind of leadership style? Is it something that you've got an opportunity to move out? And if not, can you look elsewhere where there is such an opportunity. Somebody said to me in a coaching session, asking what are the chances of you then moving up, because it looks like we are looking for your boss's position. And it sounded bad, and I was like, I don't think this guy is planning to go anywhere, and he looks very healthy. I don't think also life-wise is going anywhere soon, so therefore I have to look outside. And those are the realities, the real assessments that you need to do. That next level that we are gunning for is that person looking like he's going somewhere. Are you in a process where you are being mentored towards that, or you are just thinking it to yourself, but the company and whoever else there does not see you going there? Is the way you make them see you as a person who can go there, or there is no opportunity, the person who's there is comfortable and not moving? And then you have to be honest, instead of frustrating yourself trying to get into a position of somebody who's got no chance or no plan of moving to the next one so that you can get that space. Then you have to be honest about it and start looking elsewhere. A lot of my MBA students that I've coached that came back and say, I've got a promotion. Most of them, you'll find they say the environment where I was not a environment for my growth, and I moved and they got it elsewhere. So you have to be open-minded. Is it going to be here, country-wise, company-wise, everything, or is going to be next door, or is going to be elsewhere? And we have to be flexible about that. For me, I wanted to hear others are coping being on the entry level where they are qualified but not experienced enough on the job. That one I will let others answer, those who want to talk to that. So Lucy's comment, how others are coping being on the entry level where they are qualified but not experienced enough for the job. How many more we have? Can I go quickly down on this, because I want to just go through all of them?
Yeah, there's another 3 or 4 more.
Okay, so we can finish them. I see your hand, Tabo. We'll be back to the hands now. I'm struggling to transition from being a project coordinator to being a project manager. I've completed my PDBA and now busy with MBA. I have been applying but getting rejected, so I have fear that I will complete my MBA but remain stuck on the same position. However, in terms of personal development, I think the qualifications are working for me. I see so many changes that I am happy with. I think one of the things that you do, and I've seen this with a lot of MBA students do it, you start, as you say, you start looking while you are still busy, so that you don't wait and start looking when you really need it, because things sometimes go slower than you will want them to go. Rejection is part of life. You get 100 entrepreneurs will tell you this. You get 1 million rejections before you can get that one big break. But the difference between those who end up getting to the big break is those who stay on and keep pushing it. But also in the process of the rejection, reevaluating what is it that makes me being rejected, because sometimes it's not external issues, sometimes it's about you. I've coached people that came and say, I've struggled, I'm not getting it, I've been applying and I'm getting rejected. But when you start having the conversation, you can tell that when this person gets to an interview, all the people who are interviewing, they see is a person who's got no confidence, the person who's not sure about what they say, and they've got an MBA, they expect a big pay. But when you look at them, they don't present themselves as somebody who's going to get into the job and be able to get the job done. So you have to also do self-assessment. Why am I being rejected? Also try to find out, if you can, from wherever you are rejected, as to why, because then you've got something that you can work on. The struggling with transitioning from project coordinator to project manager, it is something that you'll have to take a coaching journey, a longer journey on that, and go through those learnings and practicing and getting feedback and sharing the challenges to get to the differences and start having a different mindset when you start managing people and all that, to say what are the things then that can work for that. Kutlwano, how to use my IT qualification both in corporate and outside corporate, and how to handle rejections from different institutions. Number one, the perception about what rejection is very important. Rejection is painful, but if you start having a mindset that rejection is not a negative thing, then you will start dealing with it a bit better. Not that you will get rejected and go have a party the next day. You will still feel the pain, but you will recover quicker because your perception of rejection is different. You know, it's part of the journey. You will be rejected somewhere, but it is about how you handle that rejection then when you get it. And that becomes more important than the rejection itself, is about the perspective around it. Somebody said, you cannot change the facts, but if you change your perspective about the facts, then they tend to change the feelings and everything else that follows after that. How to use my IT qualification, both in corporate and outside, it goes back to what I said to the person who asked about the financial qualification. You have to sit and look for where you can go and solve problems or help people with that. Identify that market and start working towards getting into that. And that becomes more of an approach of like a business. When you start a business, you sit and look and say, I've got IT, where is IT needed? Who needs it? Who will be prepared to pay for these IT services that I am offering? And that is the idea that you need to have when it is not working where you are. If I can maybe share a quick example about when I started the DrJ Business Support, I started it as a purely mentorship for entrepreneurs, but I changed it later to introduce executives and professionals because why? I realized that in South Africa, entrepreneurs are used to somebody paying things on their behalf. So they will come and ask you, they want the coaching, they want the mentorship, but they want it for free. Therefore, I find, okay, it is needed here, but no one is going to pay me. And at the moment, I'm not planning to be an NGO. Therefore, I need to look at my business model in a different way and adjust or change the target market. And when I changed, then only then it started working. So those are analyses that you do. They are more kind of like the business model side of things, where you think about who needs this, who can pay for it, because the fact that they need it is not enough. Can they pay for it? If they can pay for it, then are they interested? When you start talking to them, are you able to convince them that you are the person to give them that thing, and then they can pay for? And that goes for any qualification, whether it's within corporate or it is outside. You need to be able to convince somebody that you are going to add value for them to be prepared to pay you. And that's just a general thing everywhere. I have a finance qualification and I have been unemployed for close to 2 years now. And I hope to get insight into how I can improve my employability chances. Rejections are a part of life, but it's demeaning and demotivating to have gotten nowhere with getting a job. I feel stuck and I hope to get guidance on how to approach marketing for a job. It's a painful thing that unemployment, the true thing that we have to face is unemployment is high in South Africa. And I say this not in a very insensitive way. And I like to ask this question because sometimes it forces people to think outside, the path I was talking about, the clear path. I normally say, what would you do if you knew that in the next 20 years, no one is going to employ you? Are you going to die unemployed with your qualification? And it sounds like an insensitive question to ask somebody who's been rejected and feeling the pain of not being and not getting a job. But it is a true question that you need to answer. And I know it's negative, and I intentionally do that with people who ask about jobs. What will you do if you knew for sure that in the next 10 years, no one is going to employ you? If you can answer that question, you can free yourself out of waiting for only employment to be the only thing you can do with your qualification. And the other statement that I also like saying, which sounds very insensitive, I always say, if you go and study, and the only thing or the only skill that you get, especially if you've gotten to postgrad level, and the only thing that we have gotten out of your qualification is applying for a job, then you missed out what education was about. Education, when you go and get the learning, it needs to be more than applying for a job. It needs to be about solving your own problems. It needs to be about solving other people's problems. And that only happens if the mindset changes. And there's somebody that I met that was waiting for, I think it was 4 years. She got retrenched, and she's been waiting for 4 years for somebody to employ her. And she kept applying for a job and nobody was employing her. And I asked her the same question. What will you do if you knew for the next 10 years no one will employ you? And that changed her mindset to start saying, what can I do for myself? What are the skills I got when I was employed? What are the skills that I got when I was working? When I was studying, and where can I use them? Who needs them? And then it started. Now it's consulting. She still wants the job. It doesn't take away, because some people just want a job, but you can do something while you are still, because when we are active, you also increase your chances of getting that job than when you are sitting and waiting. I'm not going to finish these questions. Let me get to, because they keep increasing. The list keeps going longer and longer. Let's get to Thabo and get others. So I see we've got 5 minutes, and get other people also to share their thoughts on some of the questions that are there.
All right, Tiano, thank you, Dr. J, and thank you for the platform. I think it's quite helpful for many people. It's more like a question, but personally, what I've noticed, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, is that over the last, for example, over the last 20, 30 years, the dynamics of the industry have changed quite a lot. For example, in South Africa, most people were not much educated 30 years ago. So each qualification level or layer used to add quite a lot of value into the market, whether it's business, administration, and all of that. But now the way that the employment workflow works, like that, positions are placed on these sites, and then you apply, and then there's requirements there. That's an MBA. I think what that has done, plus what people have seen over the decades, you've seen your elders that were educated, applying for those things and getting them and succeeding because of those qualifications. So two things, because you saw in the past what used to happen, and because of the employment workflow, whereby they put all of these qualifications. I think most people just automatically think the same recipe still works, whereas now the market dynamics have changed completely, whereby there's a lot of people that are educated for a small marketplace, if I can put it like that, which, realistically, it makes the demand-supply dynamics quite bad, right? You end up getting an oversupply. And I think all of this that I'm explaining, your last explanation just now about people, if people were to change their mindsets and think that 10 years from now, I'm still not going to be employed, I think it answers that. But I think essentially my point is that I think something needs to be said somewhere, maybe out loud to most people that are trying to improve their careers, that look, things have changed, and maybe before automatically just doing an MBA or whatever, maybe get a coach first or whatever that can maybe get deep with you to find out where your strengths are and how your unique talents can contribute and come through, because I think that's the only thing that takes you forward now, what's unique with you. But in terms of the standard templates of the qualifications, I don't know. I don't think it's enough anymore. But yeah, that was my 2 cents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. One of the things that I think on the slide where I was talking about adaptability that I was trying to show you is that the qualification that worked yesterday might not work today. So what do? You need to ask yourself the question and be able then to say, this is how I'm going to pivot. That's why I was talking about you always have to reinvent yourself to be relevant. There's a time people were talking a lot about AI. AI is going to take our jobs. And those who are clever, they are busy learning and registering for courses for AI. And some of us are sitting and waiting and crying that AI is going to take our jobs. And then tomorrow we'll be in the same situation that we are not getting the jobs because when things were changing, we didn't pay attention and change with it. Okay, Michelle, do you want to put up the poll? So one of the things that we're going to do, because we are not going to get into deeply into some of the issues that you're raising, because this was meant to be more of an intro to try to touch high level, the things that we can touch on and to give you the frameworks that you can go and use to reflect and find out where are your stumbling blocks coming from and what are the things that you want to start changing? Is it the environment? Is it your beliefs? Is it the qualification itself? Or what is it that you need to start changing if you are convinced that you've got a maybe you are convinced you've got a chance with the qualification you have, but maybe the environment needs to change, or maybe the beliefs and stuff needs to change. So those are high level things that I wanted to share. But from here going forward, the things that needs deeper attention, and if you feel you need deeper attention and personal or individual issues to be addressed, what we're going to do, we're going to be setting up a group coaching session where we can have smaller groups because we had more than what we expected in terms of the response, and it becomes difficult to properly, deeply engage and spend a lot of time on issues because of the number of people in the group, and also people become shy to talk when the group is bigger. So we are going to have a group coaching sessions going forward where we're going to do about 4 sessions minimum in a group setting. Normally when I do group coaching, I keep my groups at 10 so that people are able to engage and able to have peer learning. Those who have done group coaching from the women group coachings that I normally do every year, and those who've been with me on the MBA, you know how that normally work. So you get coaching plus peer learning because other people who have succeeded in getting certain areas of their life work, then they are able to share that, and then we take it from there. Because we're not gonna, I'm looking at the time, we're not gonna be able to answer all the questions, and we are not going to go deep. You will have noticed that I give you high level answers where you're gonna go back and it's like, oh, how do I apply this? And then now you don't know, but it sounded nice when I was answering you. So we wanna be able to help you in implementing and monitoring step by step to get you to where you need to get to. Michelle?
Dr. H, sorry, the poll should have been set up before we started the Zoom call. May I suggest that they put in the chat box, put a thumbs up or just say yes if they want to attend the group sessions, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. So just put on the chat. Let me also